Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time on the Friday Fix. And 1 p.m. Sunday at our Sunday Town Hall. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. This is UCC. What's up with you, Wes?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. It's been a hell of a day today. We always say that we start this off every show with it's been a hell of a, you know what I mean? Because it has been. This presidency has been quite the amusement park, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
rides everywhere. Every day there's a different, you know what I mean?
It's hard to watch TV shows when you're watching reality
like really? What's going to happen next?
Yeah.
You never know with this guy. But today he finally enacted his tariffs that he's been talking about. And Trump's tariffs decimate stocks and the red flows liberally. U.S. President Donald Trump's so-called Liberation Day for the country came and went. What exactly did this trade plans liberate the world's largest economy from? Leadership of the global economic and financial system, King Dollar seat on the throne, cordial relations with trading partners and political allies. Of course, that's all speculation. The tariffs, apart from the 25% duty on autos, have yet to kick in. Trump's universal 10% tariffs will take effect April 5th, while the ostensibly reciprocal tariff rate, calculated using an unconventional, to put it mildly, formula based on trade deficits in goods, will be live April 9th. Despite their horror expressed by economics, market strategists, and privately CEOs, Trump might indeed be right that the U.S. economy and, more specifically, its manufacturing industry could be revitalized after a period of pain. The markets are going to boom. The stocks is going to boom. The country is going to boom, he said at the White House. But for now, the only subjects of Trump's liberation were investors who parted by the oppressive weight of their stock returns. After being freed on Thursday, investors fled to the safety of bonds before the more booms shake the market. It says, what you need to know. Trump reportedly opened to tariff talks. The U.S. president said he would be open to tariff talks with other countries if they offer something phenomenal, according to Reuters report. Trump's top trade aide, Peter Navarro, told CNBC less than an hour earlier that the sweeping tariffs are not a negotiation. Separately, CEO Brad Gershner told CNBC that he spoke with the CEOs of America's largest corporations. They think that the tariffs are a huge mistake.
Well, I mean, so the Dow lost, $2 trillion today. They asked Donald Trump, he was walking on the White House lawn, and they're like, the markets are tanking and everything's going down. How's it going? And he said, I think it's going very well. So what he's doing, he's saying that, we have unfair trade practices with other countries, right? Yeah. But these trade practices are in place to keep stability in the world. So to keep us as, as we used to be the leaders of the free world, which is kind of gone now. Wes, I'm not a stock market guy. You are.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel the market will bounce back?
I mean, the market's always up and down. It's a seesaw always with the market. It's just that at the end of the day, there was no reason for these tariffs to be put in place. With the uncertainty, the market is more like this is like big corporations and, people, huge investment firms. This is their money they're putting in. So can they rely on the president to do the right thing going forward? That's what they're kind of banking on. That's what the market is. It's pretty much a gamble. It's a crapshoot about what the future returns will be for any particular company. And so can they rely on this person that he's not going to do something just out of the ordinary later on down the line?
Nope.
Who knows?
Nope.
You know what I mean? So if I could take my money and park it in a country that I know is going to be safe, that's what happens. Our stock market is it's the largest on earth. I mean, far beyond anyone else's in the entire world. Like ours was like 50 something $1 trillion. The next one was probably like 10 or 12 or something like that. I think it was China. Imagine where if I take my money out of here and I see China is doing well, BYD's doing well in China, other corporations are doing well in China. I see that India's stable. Other countries are starting to make trade deals, which is going to help their economy. I'm going to park my money over there. But this is going to send the entire, like the whole globe into a recession. This is what this is going to do. We're the largest economy on earth. So by us like taking us off the table, we're the largest consumer base on earth by far right now. So that's a hard thing. When you started slapping tariffs on people, he slapped tariffs on basically everyone, even countries that took their tariffs off the table.
For Russia.
Except Russia and North Korea. I'm sorry, Russia and North Korea. I mean, Israel took all their tariffs off the table. He still slapped tariffs on them. These are not just reciprocal tariffs he's doing. That's what everyone's saying. He's not doing reciprocal tariffs. He's slapping tariffs like across the board.
Everybody.
So they're acting like it's just a reciprocal thing. He's changed his mind so many times about how he's going to do what he's doing. There's no real clear guidance already. You know what I mean? And like with all the, with the job cuts coming up, because that's a big thing too, that people are not. Wait till I think it's either this month or next month's job numbers come out. That's going to be, I think it's going to be this month's jobs numbers. I think the first was Tuesday was the first. It might be on Friday, or it's going to be either next Tuesday. I forget when the jobs numbers come out. But wait till those jobs numbers come out. You're going to see a huge reduction in the workforce because of all the people who they fired. So that's going to spook the markets as well. So that's not a good thing either. I mean, these tariffs are really going to hurt America. The dollar dropped, drastically. Like you said, we lost trillions in the stock market in one day. Yeah, the stock market goes back and forth, but there's no reason for this. This was done. This is a man-made crash.
Well, that's what he's doing. And they can keep saying, hey, this is what the people elected me to do. And so, it's basically just he's destabilized America to the point there's a whole bunch of uncertainty. And now the world is destabilized. So it's going to be interesting to watch because I don't play in the stock market, but the price of everything, the price of the brick going up, player.
And that's pretty much what it is, man. Like the price of clothing, anything that comes from, basically everything we buy comes from somewhere else, man.
Yes.
We don't really produce a lot here in America. I know that's what they're trying to do. But what you don't get is that, okay, first he's raising prices on what's going to come in. And then he's going to say, okay, produce it here. You know what's going to happen? Because you're not going to take $3 to produce a shirt. You're not going to take that $3 an hour. Another country, they might take $2 an hour, 75, because that worked for them over there in that country. We can't be like, oh, they're underpaying them. It works in their country. Just like when you go to other places, are the dollars worth more? Is because, and you can buy more goods because it works there. That's fine. Just like they have medical expenses here are higher than other places because it's cheaper there because it works there that way. You know what I mean? And so when you bring it over here, it's not going to make it cheaper for you. It's not going to make it better for you. You're going to be able to buy less stuff. Think that's going to work as a business? We can buy less things. They didn't want to pay you more. They don't want to give you more money. They want to bring more. They want to give the corporations more say so over who they can dictate to buy. We want to make sure that Americans are buying from American companies. Okay, so now our purchasing power is less. So therefore, those jobs won't be over here anyways. So what's the real purpose of it?
Well, I remember AOC. She came out with some hoodies. It looks like the price has gone down, but I remember when she was first selling them, they're like $120 a hoodie. And everyone was like, dang, why are you selling them so much? That's hella expensive. She said, no, that's how much it costs to manufacture them in America. If you were to get the American materials, get the American workers and pay them a decent living wage, that's how much a hoodie would cost you, about $120. So, a lot of things, they were talking about like the inside of an engine. I can't remember what they were saying. My apologies, folks. Okay. But he was saying, yo, this certain part of your engine in your car touches 6 different countries before it even gets to you.
And that's what it needs to do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, to keep prices right. The price on a vehicle they're saying are going to go up by like $11,000. Those are also cars that are manufactured more or less manufactured here in America because there's other parts of it that aren't manufactured here. They're just cheaper to manufacture elsewhere. Maybe because number of different reasons. But that's just what the world order is. That doesn't mean I'm not going to say I'm against his tariffs. I'm not just 110% against a reciprocal tariff on, say, you charge us 20% for this, we charge you back this. But at the same time, you need to go discuss these things. I think they should have done it behind closed doors. They didn't need to do a bully tactic. It helps, I guess, because if you put it on the world stage, then it just is what it is. It kind of keeps it in the open. So that country forces them to kind of make a decision on what they're doing. Yeah. But at the same time, though, when he could have done it behind closed doors and told them basically, this is what I'm going to do no matter what. If you don't do this, this is what I'm going to do. Because there's some things countries can't remove their tariffs on because they need it for their own particular countries. Like we do things in our country that we may need for, you know what I mean? Like I need to sell, say I'm a country in South America, and I sell coffee. That's one of my major exports. There's lots of other things they export too as well. Don't let this be I'm trying to point them all out. But I will say I need to put a tariff on it though. If a foreign coffee company comes in here, because it might be cheaper than mine, to keep the competition less in my country, because it's one of my major exports or whatever it is, industries. You need to talk to those people about that and kind of figure out what those things are and work around them. Because because a lot of people aren't going to be able to buy American goods anyways, man. It's not going to work. Our goods cost too much. You think you're going to be able to sell American goods in countries in Central America and North and South America, in Asia? No, they can't afford them. That's why we have countries like China to buy to sell to make our goods, or Vietnam to make our goods. That's why China has Africa to make theirs, because they cannot afford. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing. Like I said, they got to destabilize America first before they can buy everything up and then, implement their rules and their laws the way they want to. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in the next coming months. I mean, today was Liberation Day, as somebody said on our site. So I guess we're liberated. So let's see how the prices are going to go up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep you up to date as these tariffs continue.
Absolutely.
Department of Education takes back billions in funds recently promised to state school systems. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon informed states last Friday that money they may have been counting on for the coming years was, after a whiplash back and forth, no longer on the table. Shortly after a wild-scale shutdown in mid-March in 2020, Congress established an Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund, which provided state-level grants to provide schools with emergency relief funds to address and impact the pandemic. As of February 2025, approximately $4.5 billion of the $20.3 billion remained unspent. Though these reserves were initially meant to be liquidated by January 28, 2025, the Education Department approved extensions for 41 states this February. Affected states were assured that while reimbursement processes would be different moving forward, they would have access to those funds, approximately $3 billion altogether, until March 28, 2026. And now, just a week after giving approval, McMahon informed states that the ED had reversed course, leaving some states responsible for millions and even hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts and bills. After a careful review, McMahon wrote in a letter to the state chief of education, the department is modifying the liquidation period to end on March 28, 2025. The department has concluded that the further extension of the liquidation period for the aforementioned grants already will pass the period of performance. Was not justified. The department's initial approval of the extension request does not change anything.
Yeah, we've been watching this go on over and over again with this education department, and how they're really serious about dismantling the Department of Education, which is going to be very, very harmful, mostly to higher learning and also to rural red states. They're gonna decimate your classrooms. They're going to make it so you have huge classroom sizes. You're going to have to close schools, get rid of teachers. I mean, this is what they want. This is their version of what education means. That means no education. We don't want you to learn anything. We don't want you to know anything. Why are you going to these schools that are going to teach you this woke ideology? No, they're trying to say, I look at woke as meaning you have education. You're educated. That's what woke means to me now. For any time a person calls you woke, I would accept, like, thank you. I'm very much educated, because that's what they don't want anymore. They don't want you to awaken to the fact that, you know what, if I can keep you dumber, I can hide things from you. And why is it that when you look at people like J.D. Vance, you look at people like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, they all went to college, all three of them. I think Elon Musk came here to go to college.
Well, yeah,
to go to college.
He lied about it,
but he went to college though. You know what I'm saying? He still went and graduated from a college here. J.D. Vance, I believe he went to Yale or something like that. You know what I mean? I think Trump went to one of those business schools. You know what I mean? So, but they don't want you to go. Why is that? You know, and now they're doing this. It's like, the Trump administration on Thursday threatened to pull federal fundings from K to 12 districts and states if they don't certify within 10 days that they do not have unlawful diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. So basically, they're saying, hey, you can have like special groups like, Pacific Islanders groups like that, and that's fine. But everybody has to be able to be into it. But they're kind of being shady about when it's coming to like, Black history and stuff. So that's what they also want to do. That they want to remove, Black and indigenous history out of the schools because they feel it's offensive to them. But then also it's like, they're going to privatize school. That's what they want to do. And so you have to have money to get an education in this country. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the education they give you is going to be their revisionist history. Because remember, I was telling you, there's a school in Texas, a private school in Texas, And what they're doing is they're saying the people weren't slaves, they were immigrants. And some immigrants didn't have a choice to come over here or not.
I mean, there's also, I can't remember what state it is myself right now, but there's a state that went with this whole entire, those, what they call vouchers that they wanted for like the private school vouchers. They went with that. They were like, okay, let's try this out. And it ran the state budget up like crazy because people couldn't afford it. I mean, it's just out of whack.
The people that got the vouchers, they didn't need them. They were well off to do families.
And that's what they're doing here. This is where Linda McMahon comes from. She comes from this privatized voucher program type of schooling. She doesn't have any real education background. She sat on a few boards. It's like a person who's wealthy getting to be on the PTA or something like that. That's basically what she is. It's like a person
in the band playing the tambourine.
You feel me? I mean, it's at a point right now to where we don't care about our children being educated. I watch so many of you people go online, man, and basically speak against, I won't even call it your self-interest because your interest is that you say woke. That's your interest. Oh, you're woke. This woke BS needs to end. You know what? Education needs to end in America. That's basically what you're saying. Now they want to take the money off the table from the kids. They've already took $1 billion, out of their school lunches. They already took another half $1 billion. Out of food pantries. Now they want to stop education.
Well, it makes sense because after they get done doing what they're doing, there's not going to be a Republican or MAGA party. I mean, they're going to have their followers that are going to stick with them. But the younger generation, as you sit there and you watch people around you get hurt by these policies, starve, lose their homes, lose everything to these policies, you're going to remember this. So you might as well just, go for broke right now because you're going to try to take over. And see, folks, this is what happens when you keep electing people that have money and that come from money. They don't live like you and us. They never had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work. They never had to go to a job for 12 hours they didn't like. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to, their mom didn't have to pack them a lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like their parents were home all the time. Their parents only worked 3 days a week. This is what happens when people that come from money and you let old people that don't live in the time with us run the system because they don't care about nothing you're doing. You think, oh, right now it's not affecting you, but it is. But you're just too hard-headed and you want to double down on it. Because if the only way it's not affecting you is if you make over $300,000.
Yeah, I mean, and we all know that a lot of us don't make that kind of money, and these voucher programs are not going to work for us because they're basically going to make it so they can exclude people. It's going to be an exclusionary type of program. We all know it. We see where it's headed right now. We're watching this go on. In our state, they just ran up. I think it was Bellingham, took 37 people off of a working crew. Off of a roofing crew. And said their papers were wrong. I mean, you're watching the degradation of your society right in front of your eyes. You're watching the person sit here and degrade our neighbors as far as like, your real neighbors, but our neighbors to the north, our neighbors to the south. You're watching the breakdown of our society right before your eyes. People talk about, the Department of Education wasn't working. These are lies that are being fed here. You know what I mean? Like I said, we were 6th in the world I think in reading, 12th in science, I believe it was. You know what I mean? In the world, out of the 12, out of the 37 OECD nations, which is like pretty much is like the ones who are really the established nations of the world. That's not bad. It could be better. Yeah, because we don't even.
Nope, can't have that. Can't have people reading it. Can't have them believing in science.
Can't have them writing either.
Yep.
Can't have them read or write.
Don't want none of that.
Don't want them believing in science. Just like he said, man.
No reading, no science. That's what gets us in trouble right there. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, my mom had said that once before too. She was out here. She's like, I just want to open up a school for black kids anyways. And that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to educate our own kids, educate our own people. We're going to have to feed our kids ourselves. And our state, I'm happy I live in the state I live in because we're self-sustained that way. We can actually do it. We can have trade partners with everyone else. The rest of y'all, good luck to you.
It's with me, man. And I do always, I'm always for black people, of course, but this is an American issue more than anything else. We all live here together. If there's a portion of us who are not educated, those become the animals of the world. Why do you think that they were so scared of people who they enslaved? Because they knew that more or less they had them living like animals. You know what I mean? That's why they were afraid of them. Because once you integrate a person into your society and he puts on a suit and he puts on a tie or whatever he does, whatever that suit and tie is in your society, when he stands up and he's erect for himself and he can speak well, he has something to lose.
Well, they were scared of us definitely, because Thomas Jefferson knew who we were. We are the lost tribe from Egypt. We are the lost Egyptians. That's what. So when Egypt fell, all the Egyptians moved to West Africa. And then when the slave trade came, they're like, hey, either you're going to give up your people or you're going to give us some people, someone to take. And so they got rid of all the people they didn't know. But hey, who am I? I'm not a historian.
Republicans weigh using the power of Congress to rein in Trump on tariffs. The fallout from President Donald Trump's aggressive new tariffs has spurred Congress into action, with a growing number of Republicans joining Democrats to express interest in using their power to restrain him. After the GOP-led Senate delivered a rare rebuke to Trump on Wednesday by voting to undo his tariffs on Canada, lawmakers in both chambers are weighing additional steps to rein him in. Senators are eyeing other mechanisms to rescind Trump's existing tariffs while limiting his ability to impose new ones. And Democrats in the House are exploring ways to force a vote to revoke Canadian tariffs, putting out fillers to attract support from Republicans. The efforts have a high bar for success, as any resolution to undo Trump's tariffs or new law affecting his powers would have to get around a presidential veto. But the level of support in Congress could affect the president's political calculus around using taxes on imports to the U.S. as a centerpiece of his agenda. Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, a Trump ally who is third in line to the presidency, introduced a bill with Senator Maria Cantwell, a Democrat of Washington, on Thursday that would reassert Congress authority and slap restrictions on the president's power to levy tariffs. The legislation, called the Trade Review Act of 2025, will require the president to notify Congress of new tariffs within 48 hours of imposition, while providing his reasons and an analysis of the impacts on American consumers and businesses. Then Congress would have 60 days to approve it. If it does not, the tariffs will expire after that period. For too long, Congress has delegated its clear authority to regulate interstate and foreign commerce to the executive branch, Grassley said in the statement. Building on my previous efforts at Finance Committee chairman, I'm joining Senator Cantwell to introduce the Bipartisan Trade Review Act of 2025 to reassert Congress' constitutional role and ensure Congress has a voice in trade policy.
So, honestly, they think they're about to. Are you still reading?
No, you're good.
Okay. So they think they're about to try to rein his power in, but it's too late. You know what I'm saying? You gave this man, you gave this man the power of a king. And now you're thinking, okay, we need to rein this back in to save your own political career. Listen here, folks, it's not going to happen. The Supreme Court knows that. Congress needs to, they're trying to figure it out, but it's too late. All he has to do is say you're an enemy of the state, you're part of this Venezuelan gang or deep state, and he can have you arrested. He owns the Justice Department. He owns the FBI. He owns the ATF. They actually have a thing where it's like the FBI is actually a private, they're using it as private investigators. The rich can actually pay now to have people they don't like investigated and arrested. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Look, it's over, folks. I told everybody this from the get. You gave this man the power of a king. He don't care what Congress, he said before, he's like, I don't need Congress or the House to pass my agenda. It'd be nice if they were with it, but I don't need them. He don't even need the Supreme Court. He can get rid of the Supreme Court. They're trying to get rid of the federal court. I mean, what I'm seeing from this, though, is like this isn't a flash in the pan. I'm looking at like also in the House of Representatives, a bill by Mike Johnson was voted down where they were trying to make it so that people who were on paternity leave or had just had brand new kids and they were at home with their children had to come into Washington, D.C. and into the chambers to vote. And I mean, and I think we had 7 Republicans or something like that help vote the bill down. I mean, I don't see this. This isn't like something that just happened, like a coincidence, man. Because you can coordinate stuff that way. You could be like, okay, this person's having a baby, you know what I'm saying, are going to be home, or this person's home and this person's sick. Let's try to run this bill through here now.
Yeah, I mean, but the bigger thing is like, okay, exactly 4 people voted for this bill in the Senate. I mean, not this bill right here, but the bill we're discussing, right? 4 people. It's 47 Democrats in Congress, 53 Republicans. If only 3 Republicans had voted for it, and it would have been 50-50. And so then who would have came in? J.D. Vance would have came in and he would have been the tiebreaker on the vote. They sent in 4 of them exactly. They sent in Chuck Grassley, who they know is untouchable. He's the head of the Senate of the Senate. He's the guy up there. I mean, I think Then you also have Rand Paul, who is a libertarian, who they know he can go in there and talk the libertarian talk. Oh, this the co-equal branch and this that he can make it into like a scholastic type of a thing. Oh, this is why I'm doing it. It's because of this reason right here. Then you have 7 Republicans in the House go and vote against another bill. They understand what's going on with Trump, and they don't like it either. They're like, you know what? He's trying to basically usurp us. He's trying to usurp the judges. He's trying to basically get us to go and vote against even letting judges vote against his bills. Like, judges shouldn't even be used. Mike Johnson's going along with it, but I think he knows what these guys are doing. Just like Chuck Grassley knows what his caucus is doing. You know what I mean? This isn't a coincidence, guys. This is like a rebellion that we don't really see often from a person who came into power with that kind of a mandate. I guess you would call it, with only 25% of the voting base voting for him, but he won. You know, I mean, he won a lot of states. He won all the swing states. With that kind of a quote unquote mandate, you don't see your first few bills are not even able to be passed. He hasn't passed anything. Think about it. They have not passed anything since he's been in office. And he's been in office, going on 90 days this month?
Well, see, the whole thing, there was somebody was trying to introduce a bill where basically he could just go around Congress. And it was a congressman. Did you see that?
I mean, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, was that when you're
No, you're okay.
Good. But and so the lady's question, she's like, look, in this bill, you have it in there where he doesn't even have to ask our authority to do anything. And the guy was just like, there's a person behind him telling him what he needs to say. He didn't even know it was it. He's like, really? And the guy, he's like, okay, yeah, you can do it. No, it's in the bill. She's like, no, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he doesn't even know what's going on.
It's not crazy to see, but we told you from the get what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And think about it. How long can they fight this? We haven't even made it to the first summer of his presidency.
Yeah.
We're less than 60 days deep. 60 days deep. And I know I'm tired of talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine the people out there. Look, they're about to go protest. What day is that?
April 5th.
Saturday?
April 5th.
The 5th. Yeah, this might be out.
Way.
This might be, what? I ain't getting out there.
I mean, that's all. I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I think a lot of people will because they need to. I think look what they've taken down. Tesla. They haven't taken it completely down, but 36%, a hell of a drop. Probably dropped off more today with the market falling as far as it did already. I mean, this is serious, man. Everyone's understanding what's going on, man. You know what I mean? These Senate Republicans are not just doing this for no reason. His last presidency, when he came to power, everyone was so angry with the Republicans. They stopped them from doing this agenda. It's happened again because this agenda is not good for the country.
It's not good for their political careers.
And I mean, and you have to look at that for what that means. Bigger than it's the country is being affected. They see that this dude is siding with a foreign power over our allies and over our own country. He's messing up our relationship with our northern neighbor, who can then turn around and say, you know what? Let me go ahead and get a relationship with China. Let me go ahead and let them into the Arctic. Let me go ahead and do. There's a lot of things that can happen, man, because of the decisions that he's making. But I can respect the Republicans in the Senate and the Republicans in the House for stepping up to the plate when it needs to be. We'll see if they continue to do it.
Yeah, we shall. And right before we let you go, I got one more for you. Jasmine Crockett defies Pam Bodie's Fox News threat. I'll say it 5,000, 50,000 times. Representative Jasmine Crockett schooled Attorney General Pam Bodie with a lesson on free speech Wednesday after Bodie demanded the Congresswoman to cool it with her criticism of billionaire Elon Musk. To have her go on Fox News and then decide that she wanted to send a threat to me, it was wrong, Crockett said at a House Judiciary Committee hearing on Wednesday. She is the highest law enforcement agent in the country, and people are watching, and they are consuming this information. Crockett continued, and they are believing that simply because I decided I wanted to exercise my right to free speech, which I am not abridged from doing, that she then wanted to then politicize something that should not be politicized. I don't like Elon Musk. I'm going to say that 50,000 times. So Bodie took to Fox News last week to tell Crockett that she needs to tread very carefully after the Congresswoman, during a live stream event hosted by a group protesting Musk's Tesla company, revealed that for her birthday, she wishes for Elon Musk to be taken down. Crockett was encouraging peaceful protests like the Tesla takedown movement, but in some instances, Tesla dealerships have been targeted for vandalism. Yeah.
I mean, I think we all understand why. I'm not saying that it's the right thing to do. I think if we really look at this, most people are not out there vandalizing Teslas. Most of us are not. So this is a fringe group of people doing this. So let's not act like, oh, the left thinks that this should happen. What? I've never vandalized a Tesla. I'm not going to. I have no interest in it. It's not something I'm like, yeah, go out and vandalize Tesla. Don't buy them. That hurts them even more. Well, don't buy Teslas. Don't invest in his stocks.
Well, some people are vandalizing them, but the Tesla drivers, they're feeling nervous because they're on the road and people are like mean mugging them, flicking them off, calling them Nazis and stuff. It's pretty wild. I mean, but
that's crazy. But
that's
crazy.
It is what it is, bro.
That's crazy.
Like, if you don't want that to happen to you, turn in your Tesla.
I don't agree with people doing that. I think that's like, so what? They bought a Tesla. So what? I'd buy a Tesla if I wanted one.
So what if I got dreadlocks and I kept getting pulled over because I fit the description? Everybody got dreadlocks. That's okay.
That's separate. That's way different, brother.
What's the difference?
I mean, if you don't see what's different, that's a crazy analysis right there. I'm not gonna say that, but
it makes sense, folks. It makes sense.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like, okay, if I choose to go out and go buy something, no, because I mean they bought it. I mean, who knows when they bought their Tesla? Who knows? And I mean, them buying an EV,
get a new car.
Them buying an EV is really helping them right now, whether it's a Tesla or something else. I'm not saying that I will go out and buy a new Tesla right now. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is people who've already bought Teslas, I'm not going to mean mug them for buying a Tesla. I mean, that doesn't mean, because a person could have bought a Tesla 6 months ago.
I'm not mean mugging them either.
They could have bought one a year ago. Hey, look, they could have bought a Tesla a year ago. Now you mad? You're like, what they go turn your Tesla in? I'm like,
yeah, go get a Honda.
I got that kind of money, man. Listen, I barely was able to get this money right here. I just got my little EV. I bet your gas prices is killing you right now. I went gas prices over $5 a gallon.
Sure, I'm about to go get some gas right now.
$5 a gallon.
Nope, I shop and get my gas at the same place,
crazy.
so it takes $1 off.
So I cannot
Use
be mad.
coupons,
I would not be mad at a person. We're Americans, man. Let's be honest here. Don't buy that. Make sure you divest in the stock. That's going to hurt them. You know what I mean? People don't buy a Tesla. That'll hurt them. Don't go hurting a fellow American. That doesn't make sense at all.
That seems like an American way.
It does, though, doesn't it?
That dead ass does. That's exactly what we do.
They're
protesting Tesla. They're trying to. They've been shooting up Tesla buildings, and you can tell that's not a Democratic person. Democrats don't really just go around. I mean, it's rare. You'll get a crazy. You'll get a crazy one that has a gun.
Crazy,
but usually it's the Republican people that are shooting up buildings.
I mean, and burning down a whole entire. I mean, these are kind of like little anarchists too. At the same time, are they really Democrats? They might vote them. Maybe, who knows? Maybe people ain't. I'm not getting about my house to go burn some Teslas. Like, what the hell? I'm not. Hey, listen, that's not a part of my.
People like that doesn't make any sense. Well, it makes total sense. Think about it. Those people that lost their jobs, those federal jobs, a lot of them are Republicans. A lot of them are vets.
So a lot of vets, a lot of times.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Republicans.
What are you going to do with a vet that you got nothing? But like I keep telling you people, this is the phrase. What do you think someone's going to do with a lot of time and anger on their hands? You can't write. No one's cutting out letters no more out of magazines and then posting them to mail to somebody. I hope you die, you motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Nobody does that anymore. And that was dedication.
Yeah, I'm
dedicated to this kidnapping right now.
Hey, I'm happy that Jasmine Crockett came back and said something to Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
Because she was sitting here trying to where you better look out. Man, listen, you got your position. You can do what you can do. We all know you got the power to go ahead and put everybody in jail, do whatever you want to do. That's what you got the power to do. We all
but you ain't going to tell somebody, don't talk bad about Elon Musk.
We say what we want to say. This is a free country, allegedly.
For the moment.
Allegedly. It's a free country. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that it stays this way so we can continue to have our voice. You got countries like Israel right now sending, certain groups from Israel, I should say, they're like their political action committees are sending letters to the United States saying, hey, these are the kids that we want you to deport from colleges. You know what I mean? And they're listening to these people. You know what I mean? Because we don't have the right to free speech here in this country any longer.
Not if you're not a citizen. Is what
everyone should have the right to free speech in this country. I don't have a problem with your free speech. Who cares?
Well, you can't come into America and start screaming death to America.
I won't have a problem with that.
I will.
I don't have a problem with you coming. This is a free country. Period. This is what we are. When we lose that freedom, then it'll trickle down to the rest of us later.
You have the right to free speech, but you don't have the right to dub what your consequence will be.
And so therefore we're okay with basically saying that we don't have a right to free speech then.
Nope.
Take away the free speech then. So we shouldn't even talk about, I'm not saying that we just do and this is inherent and everything is perfect the way it is, but let's just take that away and quit acting like we truly care about freedom of speech. We truly care about being free Americans because we don't. We're willing to give it up at any given, just at the drop of a dime. Oh, no, not you, but you can't talk freely. But I kind of can. If I say the wrong thing, I might go to jail too. But come on, man. Either it is or it isn't.
You got both
Either
sides.
We are or we're not.
We do this every 4-8 years. You know what I'm saying? Like the Republicans are hella happy.
No one's ever getting kicked out the country under Democrats. They're not grabbing people, kicking them out the country because they say something. They don't do that.
No. We ain't pussies like that. I'm just saying. But then, Joe Biden was president. Actually, they went hard on Trump. That's why he's going hard on everybody else. They clowned that man for 4 years.
They didn't go hard on Trump. They didn't go hard enough. Trump should have been in jail. That's how I feel. I mean, seriously, he should have been in jail after January 6th. He should have been in jail.
And that's why the Democrats are soft like butter. You know what I'm saying? Left out. They didn't throw nobody in jail. You wanted to wait and make it political to the last year.
They're hoping that Americans won't vote for this. Yes, they will, man. They taught you anything, but they're not. But a lot of people are not going to show up and vote if you don't have a tough enough of a plan. That's the problem. You're not tough enough of a plan. Me personally, that's why you see Jasmine Crockett talking the way she is now, because they've learned that, you know what? There's no more rules.
There's no more rules.
There's no more rules. There's no decorum. There's no like, oh, we shouldn't say this as politicians. No one cares anymore. It's crazy because we're letting the uneducated, unwoke people in this country rule the country. And that's the problem.
But the whole thing is, you have to understand, we can be disrespectful better.
Hey,
we're good at it.
Go back to sleep, man. Go back to sleep. That's what they want for you. Don't be woke.
No, I slept
like 9 hours
last night, bro. I can't sleep. It hurts my back.
Don't you wake up. Don't you look at life for what it is. Don't try to claim what woke is. We know what it really means. It means you've been teaching the wrong history for a very long time and lying to the general public. That's what woke is right there. It's nothing else other than that. We had to wake up and figure out that you've lied to us for a very, very, very long time. Don't paint nothing else along those lines with us. That's a part of a whole nother movement. Don't have nothing to do with this movement that we see through your lies. Period, plain and simple.
Yep. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this is Uncommon Courtesy. We will see you next time.